hit record and I'm just going to jump in. So thanks for joining. It's a small group, but hopefully we'll get the word out and we'll get a full team going. I'll just give you a little background information. I'll tell you about the itinerary and I'll answer any questions that you might have. So as you may or may not know, I've done missions with Providence in Costa Rica for like 15 years. And with COVID shut down, we started a more domestic mission trip 3 years ago to Kentucky after they had had horrible floods the summer of 21. And we met some wonderful people from an area called Calvary Campus. And in fact, I have, let's see, I have their website here I can share. It's a very low budget website, but this is like Eastern Kentucky. I'm pretty sure this is kind of where the expression hillbilly comes from, you know, where they live in the hills and they have such a twang. And I swear sometimes I need a translator more in Kentucky than I do in Costa Rica. It's kind of funny, but they are precious, precious people. And this Calvary Campus is where we stayed, and this will be our third year going to Kentucky, and this is where we'll be staying again. It's a really old school that used to be a boarding school that houses, now they do different retreats and different events for their community. So the community has recovered pretty well from the floods, but there is a much older population in this community and a very impoverished population in this community. So last year, we didn't do as much for the floods as we did just helping in the homes of some elderlies. And some were still cleaning up and some were still trying to replace carpet and tile and things like that. So this trip, it's such a sweet time and it's such a sweet place and it's such a beautiful time of year in Eastern Kentucky that I've sort of been referring to this trip a little more of like a service retreat, if you will, more so really than even a mission trip, because these people love Jesus and they have recovered from such a difficult time in their lives and they give the glory to him. So it's really, really refreshing to serve these people, to pray with these people, to just to love on them and to continue to build their faith that has already been built up so much by just what they've been through. So I kind of prefer the expression service retreat as opposed to mission trip, because we are not necessarily spreading the gospel as much as we are being the hands and feet of Jesus in physical labor, but then also getting some time to rest and some time to be still. That's something that the Lord's really been working on me about this summer, and the importance of getting time away from the busyness of life and getting time away to not make ourselves crazy with as much as we can see and do, but for stillness and for rest. And the environment, the atmosphere of Calvary Campus is perfect for that. So I've got a bit of an itinerary here. This is a perfect trip for like a first or second mission trip for kids who want to get away and experience what it's like to kind of go on a trip without mom and dad. But it's domestic and it's not scary, and the travel is not super easy, to tell you the truth. We're going to the middle of nowhere, and so it's awesome once we get there, but it is a little bit to get there. So we have to fly through Atlanta into Louisville, and then it's about a 3-hour drive into the hills from where we are. But we stop halfway through, we'll get dinner at Chick-fil-A and then finish the rest of the ride. And because of the hills and the small roads, we cannot take a big bus. We have to take little passenger vans with chauffeurs. So the transportation, because I'm not allowed to drive the kids legally, nor would I really want to in these windy, hilly roads. So the bulk of the cost of this trip, unfortunately, is transportation. However, I've already been given some very generous donations that will cut down on the cost of the trip tremendously. So we fly in on that Thursday, October 10th. And so that's the only day of school that we'll be missing is that Thursday, because the Friday and Monday are days off. So we will miss that Thursday. Last year we didn't miss Thursday, and it really just wasn't long enough. So I took that Thursday back. We did miss that Thursday 2 years ago, but I took that back. So the days basically consist of we make our own food when we're here. So the kids will get put into teams and they'll have literally kitchen duty where they'll be prepping food, cleaning the kitchen, working together in that way, which is so much fun. We'll make our breakfasts, we'll pack our lunches, and we'll have dinner out 2 of the 3 nights that we're there. We will participate in various ministries. I don't know what they are yet because the lovely family that runs Calvary Campus plans all of that for us. But we could be working in community centers, food pantries, trash pickups, working in elderly homes. It could be a whole variety of things. So after our service day, we have time to rest, we have time to play, we have time to get what we need for our meal prepping, and we will have devotions and debriefing every night. And this is something like the retreats that I plan at school. I plan to be really intentional with this time with the students and really kind of have a theme that we're working through and get them into smaller groups and get them really just kind of digging into what God is doing, not just on this trip, but in their lives in general. While also playing a lot of games and having a whole lot of fun. So Saturday looks very similar to that. We'll go out for dinner on Saturday. That'll be the same thing. Sunday, the theme is Sabbath. And I know our students, I don't know about you guys in your homes, but I have not raised my children to observe a Sabbath. And the older I get, the more necessary I know that it is. And so I plan to teach them about the Sabbath and what it means to rest and enjoy. There is no serving people on Sunday. They don't want you serving them. They want you Sabbathing, which is really cool. So we will go to church at the local church and meet some of them. And sometimes the kids share a testimony at church. They love to hear from us. Like I said, this will be the 3rd year that we're back. So they're excited to have us. And then we will go to Kingdom Come State Park, which is only about 45 minutes up the road, and we'll hike and we'll walk and we'll enjoy. And then we will come back home. This will be our last night on campus. So we will make dinner together and we will debrief and share some testimonies. And this will be kind of our last, maybe do a prayer walk, talk about, what the Lord has been doing in this time and how we want to make some changes once we get home and all those good things. So that would be Sunday. And then Monday, our flight gets back into Jacksonville by 4:55. And one thing I didn't mention is the students will definitely have some time to do some schoolwork in the evening. So we will have allotted times because I know some teachers like to give extra homework on those long weekends. So we will definitely have some time for them so that this isn't a really stressful, crazy thing. There is Wi-Fi in the dining room at the retreat center. So that is not an issue for them. So that's the itinerary. As far as cost right now, the airline tickets, like I said, the airline tickets and the vans are the most expensive. I have a spreadsheet that determines the total cost of the trip depending on how many people go. Because as you can imagine, if it's like $1,200 a day or something ridiculous per van. So if you imagine if it's a 13 passenger van, if I have 10 kids in the van compared to if I have 3 kids in the van. So if I have 15 kids sign up for this trip and I have 12 in one van and 2 in another, I can't do that. I can't afford a second van if I only have. So the number game is really tricky, which is why I can't give you a total price of the trip right now. I am asking for a $500 airline deposit as soon as possible, because the contract that I have with the airline expires July 1st. So we have to decide by the end of June if we're going to do this or not, and pay that deposit. And it's not impossible to get out of it. If I don't have enough people and I have to cancel the contract, I can refund the money through the Providence Pay It website, no problem. So it is not necessarily a non-refundable deposit, because if I don't get enough people, then I can refund those deposits. So from there, it's a numbers game. So it just depends. It's only $20 a night to stay at Calvary campus, which is amazing. It's like $130 for the meeting room. We have to pay for the rooms where the chauffeurs stay, but that's super cheap too. Groceries are not bad, out to dinner. So I'm trying to make sure that we don't go over $1,200 total for the trip. So that's my goal. That's where we're at right now. But really the biggest cost, like I said, is transportation. So right now, to be honest, there's only 5 students signed up right now. 3 of them are returners from last year. There's about 3 more from last year's trip who tell me that they're going to sign up. I have some kids who this will be their 3rd year going. It's a really, really fun time. So I'm hoping it's something that we can grow over the years and become, something, a regular part of missions at Providence. I'd love to do a domestic and an international trip every year. And I love that we can invite the younger ones to this one too. So anyway, I've been rambling for 15 minutes now. So if y'all have any questions, I would love to answer them for you. Can you think of anything? No? You guys are good? Can you tell me what grade your students are going into? What's yours, Angela?
Ella is going to be in 9th.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And she's not been on a mission trip without us, but we were missionaries for a while. And so she's done that, but that's all international. So I love the idea of domestic serving without us.
Yeah.
And doing her own thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a perfect kind of intro to that. It really is. Last year, we worked in the home of an elderly woman who was sweet as can be. Her husband had passed and she had just kind of a lot of stuff that she was trying to work through. The day turned into, we got a lot done. We painted furniture, we cleaned out this whole back room, we sanded this front room where she was still recovering from the floods. But she ended up making us homemade chili and brownies, and the kids got in the kitchen like cooking with her, and that was their favorite part. It was just, and she prayed over them and we prayed for her. It was just a beautiful time. Hi. Ashley, what age is your student?
Avonlea is my daughter, and she's also in 9th grade.
Okay, going into 9th. Awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Ella just perked up. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, y'all need to spread the word and get some more. The ideal the ideal number of students honestly is like 20, 21 is the ideal number. We would fill 2 vans. I could bring 2 or 3 other teachers, and it would be perfect. That's the perfect amount. I did reserve 30 seats on the airline just because I was feeling optimistic, and I could do 3 vans, but really 2 with about 20 to 21 kids is perfect. So
Did I
Go ahead.
miss what the magic threshold was to actually have the trip? I think you were talking about it, and
you know, I have to, yeah, I would have to look at my spreadsheet and see what that was. Like I said, it's a numbers game. So if I went with let's see, if I went with 11, let me see if I have my spreadsheet here. Trip cost estimator. I don't know if this is this year's or last year's. This might be last year's.
And does everyone have to be committed by July 1st, or do you have a longer window?
I could probably get an extension on the airline contract. I mean, because yeah, I know that probably even if I could get it into August when we get back to school and I can share more about it and the kids are back together,
Yeah,
that's the tricky, I know that's the tricky part
yeah,
about this trip, is that we're trying to coordinate it over the summer when the kids aren't together. So that's tough.
yeah.
So I would have to talk to I'd have to talk to it's actually Melanie Frady who's helping me kind of coordinate a Providence family. Yeah, she's helping me coordinate the airfare. So we could definitely get at least a 2-week extension into July, but I would love to see. The problem is if we cancel this contract and get another one in August, we take the risk of the prices going up.
Yeah.
So that's the struggle.
I was just thinking, if we talk to any of your other friends or any other students we know, we'll push for that July 1st.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm probably gonna send the recording. I'll probably send the recording of the video of the information, or at least the itinerary out, like, to everyone again, just to get it on their radar and hopefully get moving on it. So it'll be great. Do y'all have any other questions?
I'm good. Thank you so much for the information. I appreciate it.
Of course, you're so welcome. Thanks for logging on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Just email me if anything comes up. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Have a great night. Bye.